SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Does that tree have you worried? Want to get it cut down before the next storm? You need to call Max Tree Service and Land Management for your free estimate. Don't wait till it's too late. Call us today at 601-695-1717 or check us out on Facebook. Max Tree Service.
Pike County, here comes your morning show. Dave in the morning on 93.5 FM, SuperTalk Mississippi.
So now, understand, you're not going to dictate to me what I do and what I don't do, but I'm still the mayor, Mr. Clark.
None of this meeting is recorded. None, by any party. Correct?
No, sir, mine is recorded. I'm being accused.
Any contact.
Said I want to make it on record. I want the allegations in writing, party accused, or on recording of this harassment.
And now, here's your host, Dave Hughes.
Good morning to you. How you doing? Wednesday morning in a brand new month laid out in front of us, full of potential, promise, and bills. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We work with what we've got, right? Seems like that third category is growing, and the first 2 are staying about the same, which makes them look like they're falling behind. Because that's the thing, and we'll get into this more later. If everyone around you is growing and you're staying right where you were, to any outside observer, it looks like you're slacking. And that's, I'm not going to say it's easy to fix, but it's simple to fix. Simple and easy mean 2 different things. That's why they're 2 different words. Something can be simple to fix. If there's a problem with a moon rocket, well, it's simple. There's a leak. There's a leak in the O2 chamber that they have to go and fix. That's simple. You can describe it in 1 sentence. You can explain fully what the problem is. It ain't easy to fix it, though. Same thing applies everywhere. So just keep that in mind. We'll talk more about it a little bit later on. Everyone's talking about the Supreme Court rulings yesterday. I don't think it's being framed as 2 big losses for the Trump administration. Not necessarily. Not if you look at them appropriately. Not if you look at what the rulings actually said and not just go by headlines. Let me go ahead and tell you. Stop reading the headlines and thinking you know what's going on. A significant portion of time, you read the headline to a story from the media, and then you read the story, and about the 3rd paragraph, they have a sentence in there that explains that it's actually the exact opposite of what the headline made you think it was. So you have to start doing a little bit better job of actually reading the entire thing. Because I see this all the time. I have people come up to me and say, "What about such and such? I read that." No, you read the headline. Go read the story. I actually opened one up one day. Scrolled down on the story. I said, read that. This is the story. Scroll back up, showed them the headline. This is what you're talking about. Now, and scroll back down to that point. I said, this is the story. Read that. Tell me what it's about. They went, well, they read it, of course, and said, that's not what the headline said. Exactly. Not exactly the crushing defeat and loss that everybody thought some of them were. Birthright citizenship. Great example of that. It was a loss. They affirmed birthright citizenship. Yeah. Sort of. We're just continuing to move the ball down the field on that one. It wasn't a final word on anything. The mail-in ballot thing. Do you realize the Supreme Court has now codified I say codified. That's not what the Supreme Court does, but they have affirmed that any mail-in ballots must be postmarked by Election Day. That is the way it's always been in Mississippi. Other places, no. They have drop boxes where you just pull up and stuff in as many as you can. No, it has to have a postmark. So now there is a legal basis from the highest court in the land that you've got to get it in the mailbox and postmarked by Election Day, or it doesn't count. That's an opening that no one's paying attention to. So that's what I'm talking about. You read the headlines, oh, it was brutal losses. Yeah, not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. We'll talk more about it as we move forward because, as usual, we're going to be talking about these topics for a while. And the fighting will continue. You know how that works. Tonight, speaking of that, tonight we have the official swearing in of the brand new Board of Mayor and Selectmen for the city of Macomb. Happening at 6 o'clock at the Palace Theater. Gonna have them all over there. Gonna swear them in. A little bit different from previous swearing-ins where it happened on the 30th, that night. That would quite possibly raise the question in somebody's mind, okay, well, if the previous terms all expired at midnight, and the new crew isn't getting sworn in until 6 today, who's mayor right now? Who's on the board right now? From a paperwork standpoint, nobody. But from a functional standpoint, let's say something horrible happened a few months ago, and we weren't able to have elections. All paper on the planet combusted. Pens exploded. Nobody could do anything. There was no way around it. The current Board of Mayor and Selectmen would continue to serve until such time as an election was able to be held. That's just kind of functionally the way it works because we have safeguards built in to make sure that we have elected leadership until we can rectify any problems that came up. So, yeah. I just thought that was an interesting little quirk of how all of this works. I mean, technically on paper, we don't have a mayor and board in Macomb until 6 o'clock tonight or a little after 6 when they actually take the oaths of office. Well, functionally, yeah, we've got leadership. It's no problem. It's no big deal. Should be a lovely time tonight. We'll see how that goes. We have had some very nice swearing-in ceremonies for the last couple of decades. Tonight, I expect to be no different. So that will kick in, and then we move forward into our next 4-year era with a lot of different faces around that board, or some of the same faces in different positions. talking, of course, about almost Mayor Bruce Mullins. I know we're in that gray zone. I don't want to call him mayor-elect. He is, but he isn't. He's also the mayor, but he hasn't taken the oath yet. So, and that's not to say, by the way, that they didn't go ahead and take the oath. All of them just didn't do it in a public setting, and then they're going to redo it for the public tonight. That, by the way, one of the big topics going around in entertainment right now is Taylor Swift going to get married this weekend? Would not surprise me for her to use that method. Have a little private ceremony. They may be married now. We don't know. And then have a big to-do for the public. Supposedly, she has rented out Madison Square Garden, and she's having an event Friday, I think it is, with 1,000 guests expected. They're going to be rattling around in the garden, aren't they? The place holds a lot more than 1,000 people. But having said that, throwing an event with 1,000 people there for your wedding sounds like the purest form of hell imaginable to me. That just sounds horrific. But then again, I'm not a billionaire, so I don't know, maybe that's why. So it could be that they already took the oath and then they're just going to do it publicly tonight to ensure the continuity of government. Functionally, none of it matters, really. It really doesn't. We move forward and we'll see what's going to happen. But I do want to reiterate one thing. Most, if not all, of the change that you might see moving forward in the city of Macomb is going to be as much because of what the mayor doesn't do as it is what the mayor does. Everybody focuses on the mayor's position as the mover and the shaker. Let me just say, I mean, we've got a great case of how it works if the mayor has a little more agency in how things are done. Magnolia, perfect example. Mayor Marvin Brumfield. You go down to Magnolia. There are fresh flowers and all the planters, especially there on Bay Street, going right through the middle of town. Got banners up. They're keeping everything clean. They're keeping everything nice. They repainted the buildings down on Railroad Boulevard. New businesses coming in. And it all goes back to and that's been driven primarily, I mean, the board has helped too, but that's been driven primarily by Mayor Marvin Brumfield. Two things. Number one, in Macomb, we have a strong board weak mayor. That's the way it's supposed to work. However, if you have someone in the mayor's position who can encourage, who can, help steer things in the right direction, get a little energy back, good things can happen. Because you may be listening to this and you may be thinking, oh, well, they put some flowers in the planters and they're keeping the grass trimmed and the garbage picked up. By the way, Magnolia, the only place in Pike County that does not have the big orange cans. Why? Because they decided, you know what, we're just going to do our own trash pickup. Heck with this. So they come around and they pick up the trash. The city does. They went and bought a garbage truck. So while everyone else is upset because today is the day that kicks in, today is the day that the new rules for trash pickup go into effect around Pike County, in Macomb, everywhere, except Magnolia. All of your trash has to be in that enormous 75-pound green can that you were given. If you want another can, it's anywhere from $9 to $165. I've heard both prices from various people. But you can get another can if, you're just really trashy. They won't be picking up anything that you leave on the ground by the can. It's just going to still be there when they get done because the robot don't care. It's not technically a robot, but we're just using that for shorthand. But that starts today. Today, moving forward, that's how trash pickup works. You got to put your can out a certain way. You got to have it facing towards the road in such a way that the arm can come down and pick it up and dump it. Nothing on the ground. No, if you run out of space in the can, there is no just piling a couple of bags on the ground next to the can or putting boxes out or anything like that. No, if it doesn't fit in the can, it doesn't get picked up. Except in Magnolia. In Magnolia, today is, it's just a Wednesday. When it comes to trash pickup, same thing. So you can have an influence, you can have an impact on how things happen when you're the mayor. My good friend, the mayor of Summit, Percy Robinson, he has been a proponent of this and of a like mindset to me for quite a while, pretty much the entire time I've known him. You ask anyone that has a business in Summit, anyone that lives in Summit, anyone that does business in Summit, and they have a story about Mayor Percy Robinson. He gets out every day and he walks Rob Street, stops in just to see if everything's okay. You doing all right? How's it going? How's business been? The planters always have beautiful flowers in them. The grass is always trimmed and looking good. And what has Summit done business-wise over the last, say, 5 years? The mayor can have a definite impact on how things go for a city. And notice in both cases, Magnolia on the way up. Summit has been up for a while and continuing to do well. What am I saying about both of them? Well, I got beautiful fresh flowers in the planter. Everything is trimmed. Everything is nice. It looks neat. It looks welcoming. It has curb appeal, as I keep saying over and over and over. Curb appeal is something that's very simple to do to increase your success as a municipality. As we have seen for years, right around Macomb today, take a look for yourself, as we have seen for years, once again, simple is obviously not the same as easy. So, we'll see how we go from here. Got high hopes. I think we're going to have a good few years here. We will continue on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Wave to the robot garbage truck when it comes by. Greeted in robot garbage truck, like meat more something, I don't know, something. By the way, the griping will continue. Have no doubt. We continue on SuperTalk Pike County right after this.
There's got to be a reason, and we know the reason why you try to put on those airs and act real cool, but you've got to realize that you're acting like fools. If there's music, we can use it, be free to dance. We don't have the time for psychological romance. No romance, no romance, no romance for me, mama. Come on, baby, tell me what's the word, a word I
Get ready to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Join Southwest Health and Liberty sponsor Pike National Bank on Friday, July 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 1506 Aston Avenue in Macomb for America's 250th celebration. Enjoy All-American Eats, live music from Keys vs. Strings, a kids zone filled with inflatables, games, and face painting, exciting giveaways, community organizations, vendors, and special appearances by George and Martha Washington. America's 250th celebration brought to you by Southwest Health, July 3rd from 10 to 3.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term wife insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term wife insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term wife insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. Super Talk 93.5 is always the place to be. Want to get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all around, it's all around. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, or just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crank. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Weekday mornings at 6 after 9 on 93.5 FM, or you can catch up anytime by going to
SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave in the morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Catch up and catch on.
Come around to my way of thinking. Don't you want to get along? Every day just like a vacation with you. When I'm watching you and Fidel Castro in the sand, just saying, girl, you got to roll. So slow down, overflow. So slow down.
Welcome back, Super Talk, Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5. A lot of events going on everywhere. It's the 250th anniversary. And I was having a conversation yesterday, the 250th anniversary of America, and it sounds like it would be a big deal. But I've had several people who are of the right age to remember the bicentennial celebration back in 1976, myself among them. And you had people growing out their mutton chops. You had period costuming. We had a big parade. It was a big to-do in Macomb. 250th? Yeah. Yay. Well, number one, I think that's the wrong attitude. We ought to have a big to-do every 4th of July because of what the day represents. The day represents, as I have said many times when I have mentioned news about the royal family in England, we fought an entire war, so I don't have to care what they're doing. We fought an entire war to be ourselves instead of what someone else told us we should be. It's ironic that we come back around to the point where we have a significant segment of the American population who believes that the rest of the population needs to be what they're told to be, not who they are, which is kind of antithetical to what the country stands for. I think there's something else at play about America's 250th. Yes, I've heard the arguments, well, Trump's involved, so a whole bunch of people aren't interested. Yeah, but you look at who voted for Trump and who didn't. It was more than half of the voters that voted for him. That's how he won 2 years ago. They're not showing up. They're not. I don't know if you've seen the stories about the America's State Fair that they're doing at the National Mall in Washington. Attendance is extremely low. Reviews are bleak. And these are people, the few people that are showing up are wearing MAGA t-shirts and hats, and they're very adamant supporters of President Trump, and they're showing up and giving the review. This kind of stinks. Big part of the problem here is psychological as far as people turning out. I mean, word of mouth doesn't help. When everybody that's been says don't go, that's what happens. But people like big round numbers. 250 sounds like a big round number, but it's not. 200 was a big round number. That's a big deal. 300 will be an enormous deal. And I'll tell you this, when it comes around, it won't matter who's president. It won't matter what the political situation is. That will be a big deal. 250th, it should be. But by extension, 225 should have been huge, right? 275 is going to be enormous, right? No. People like big round numbers. Is that a stupid bias? Oh, yeah. But it's just the case, no matter how you look at it. Having said that, we do have people putting great events together to celebrate the 250th, doing it right, in my opinion. One of them had them on last week, going to have Lexus in here again tomorrow. Southwest Health Systems has their big extravaganza coming up on Friday from 10 until 3. Right over there on Aston Avenue. They're going to have food, going to have live music, going to give some stuff away. They're going to have free pets. Would you like a pet? Do you need a pet? You need a pet. You need another pet. Come on, you don't have enough pets. Oh, they're going to have pet adoptions there. Local animal shelters are going to show up and show off puppies and kittens. That's a hard day, isn't it? And of course, as we talked about, the dunk tank, probably the focus of the day. Going to have a kid zone with inflatables and an obstacle course. By the way, there should be an upper age limit on the obstacle course if a 40-year-old tries to go and run it. Well, actually, now that I think about it, that's just drumming up business for the hospital, isn't it? So that makes sense. I try to run an obstacle course. Somebody clubbed me on the back of the head because I have lost my ability to think. Face painting games, all of that. We're going to have hamburgers and hot dogs and funnel cakes and cotton candy and popcorn and watermelon from 11 till 1. Going to be a big deal. It's on Friday from 10 until 3 on Aston Avenue, right across from the hospital. Best way I can think of to explain it, right over there between the hospital and the medical arts building, there's a big wide open space there. It has been used for decades as baseball practice facilities. There's a couple of backstops over there, things like that. It was used as that for a long, long time. Well, Friday, it's going to be used for America's 250th, that big open space behind the newly renovated former medical center pharmacy building, and between there and the medical arts building. That big open space, from what I understand, that's where it's going to be. Everybody is going to enjoy it. It's going to be a good time. It's a good thing. We have fallen into the trap, to me, of spending so much time being upset over everything, every way, that we forget to appreciate just how good we've got it. I mean, yes, the daily grind, the daily drudgery of, again, what happened now? Yes, I get it. That would wear anyone down. But we have to stop sometimes and realize, you know what? We're doing pretty doggone good. We're doing better than pretty doggone good. Is there room for improvement? Oh, you bet your sweet bippy there is. But If you spend all of your time focusing on what you should have instead of what you do have, well, you're running the danger of losing what you do have. You have to have time to appreciate what you have. And in America, we have something so special. There's no place else like it on earth. It's partially for a reason. Nobody else could have pulled it off. You have seen, I'm sure, the World Cup fans coming to America, getting here. And this goes back to what I was saying at the top of the show about don't just read the headlines. You got to look into things for yourself. They are getting here, and over I have seen dozens of people on Facebook and TikTok and X and everywhere else that are from other countries that came over here for the World Cup and are blown away. Saying things like, well, America is nothing like we've been led to believe. The coverage in my country makes America sound like a horrible place. It's not. It's lovely. Wonderful, friendly people, beautiful landside, beautiful way of life. So many amenities, so many nice things. So when they come in from the outside, from a different situation and come in here, they go, holy cow. We've been lied to. We've been told it's a horrible, oppressive thing, and as soon as you get out of the cab, you're going to get shot. That's America. Bull. You know that. I know that. The problem is we've known it since birth, so we take it for granted how nice America is, partially because there are a lot of people who spend almost all of their time trying to convince you of how horrible it is, because that's how they make their money. So we need to celebrate the 250th. We need to have a positive attitude, a happy attitude. There's a ton of people in America right now that if you walk up and say, USA, they're going to go, ugh. And we've heard the snap reactions before. Love it or leave it. Probably the most well-known one. And that, to me, ties into my theory about crime. That would be putting a Band-Aid on the bullet hole, so to speak. You're not fixing the underlying problems. The underlying problems are the nonstop deluge of bad news that gets crammed into your ear holes nonstop all day, every day. Once a day. I recommend this for anyone. If this has been a problem for you, if you've developed a certain grumpiness, once a day, preferably when you first get up, but once a day, same time every day, make it easy on yourself. I want you to think about and name one thing you're thankful for about America, about living in the USA. But here's the trick. It's going to be a different thing each day. And you may think to yourself, I don't know if I can come up with that much. Well, you're not thinking hard enough. Just do that. Because you can program yourself. If you want to be grumpy and mad and just ready to fight over everything, well, it takes an act of will to do it. But you can, and you should. Having said that, the only people who are going to take that advice are the ones that don't need it. That's how it works. That's how it's worked for time immemorial. It's where the phrase preaching to the choir comes from. The vast majority of people taking what you say, what you suggest, what you think, what you feel, and what you believe to heart are the ones that already were on board, or kind of on board. They're already committed. They're already in. They have buy-in before you ever open your mouth and say the first syllable. The trick is to get the ones that aren't already bought in to buy in. And the way you do that is to get the movement going to where everybody is happy. Everybody is starting to look great. And before you know it, a lot of those middle ground folks, the edge cases, the ones who don't realize it, but they're upset because somebody told them they should be mad. And when they said, why should I be mad? The response was, because you're upset. And they just went along with it. They look around and all of a sudden they see more and more people who have a positive, happy outlook, or at least more so than they do. And that leads to a change in the way they see things, because humans are pack animals. They want to be part of the group. They want to be part of the majority. Always have. It's the way humans work. If everybody's griping, what's the chance of getting people to have a positive attitude? Well, if you've got a good mayor, like they've got in Summit, like they've got in Magnolia, better than you might think. But you got to make the effort. You got to try. You got to put forth a concerted push to change the only attitude that you have control over. Yours. Now, admittedly, that's hard some days. It's impossible some days. But it's still doable. And the 250th, I think, is a great explanation of that. You know, it had the concert they put together, which, by the way, objectively just had a very, to me, uninteresting list of people signed up to perform. But whatever. And then all of them canceled except for Vanilla Ice. And then the whole thing wound up getting canceled because of bad weather when it came time to do it. All of those artists, their reason for canceling said it was too political of an event. And they decided not. Okay, let me get this straight. President Trump invited you to perform at a President Trump-led and created concert event celebrating the country. And it wasn't until right before it happened you realized, wait a minute. You mean President Trump has something to do with this? Cosplaying a moron is usually not the way to go. That's just a weak excuse to me to back out of that. I mean, if it had been happening right here in Pike County, I wouldn't have gone because, like I said, the whole list of performers, You want to get people from the 80s and 90s? Oh, great. I'm all on board for that. Just that list did not excite me. Book 38 Special. I'm there. Heck, book REO Speedwagon. I'm there. But attitude, approach, and outlook are the most important thing. And that's what has helped when you've got fresh flowers in the planters and the grass is trimmed and things look neat and the trash is picked up. I'm not talking about the robot arm. I'm talking about stuff laying in the gutter. It gets picked up. It makes it welcoming. It gives the city curb appeal. That's important. That's very important. Because I mentioned baseball earlier when I was talking about the America's 250th that Southwest Health is putting on Friday. And I mentioned that field was used for baseball practice. How many times, if you've been involved in any sport whatsoever, how many times did your coach tell you, you play like you practice? If we had the CEO of a massive international company that was looking to build a new location, bring a bunch of jobs, bring a bunch of financial growth to Pike County, we shouldn't have to do anything special to get ready for them to show up, to put on a good face. Go around and make sure the throw pillows aren't crooked. But aside from that, we should be doing that work every day. They've been doing it in Summit for a while, and look at the results. They're doing it in Magnolia, and business is picking up. I've been talking about this for a decade. You play how you practice. If you've got somebody headed this way, because here's the secret, and that's why it's so important. You have no idea how many big CEOs have been through Pike County, and you never heard about it. You didn't know about it. There was no big concerted public push to get ready and put on our best face. No, they just show up. So that is my hope for Macomb moving forward. When somebody says, companies come and put on your best face, the only appropriate response to me is, so just keep doing what we're doing? Great. That should be the initial reaction to that advice. If it's not, well, I don't know what to tell you. When we come back, speaking of putting a good face on things, speaking of having the right attitude, we've got a good face in here. No pressure. We're going to talk to Brandon Andrews. Something really big coming up. We'll talk about that next.
You'll soon be hearing the chime close to midnight.
Every now and then, we remind all of you loving, awesome, hardworking husbands that you have a premium it's time to renew. No, it's not life insurance, car insurance, or health insurance. It's way more important than those. I'm Kristen. Gentlemen, it's time to renew those long-term life insurance policies. When you surprise her with a gift from Selmans, you remind her that no matter what lies ahead, you and she will get through it together. Your gift tells her this long-term life insurance policy is for life. Renew your long-term life insurance policy right here at Selmans. We're in it for the long term with you.
Get ready to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Join Southwest Health and Liberty sponsor Pike National Bank on Friday, July 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 1506 Aston Avenue in Macomb for America's 250th celebration. Enjoy All-American Eats, live music from Keys vs. Strings, a kids zone filled with inflatables, games, and face painting, exciting giveaways, community organizations, vendors, and special appearances by George and Martha Washington. America's 250th celebration brought to you by Southwest Health, July 3rd from 10 to 3.
Don't miss Dave in the morning. Even when you miss it the first time, you can catch it on the podcast. Missing out would be a crime. SuperTalk 93.5 is always the place to be. Wanna get the podcast version? Here, my friend, is the key. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. It's all there and it's all the rage. Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, but just right there on the page. Dave in the morning, late at night, or anytime you have the crave. SuperTalkPikeCounty.com.
Dave Hughes here. Remember, every weekday morning at 9:06, it's Dave in the Morning, where we solve the problems of the world, or at least complain about them really loudly and sarcastically. And if you miss out, you can catch up with the podcast version of Dave in the Morning at SuperTalkPikeCounty.com. Welcome back. SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County, 93.5. Dave Hughes here, and joining me in studio, Main Street's doing good in Macomb, and this guy's responsible. Brandon Andrews, how you doing today, sir?
I could not complain. If I did, I'd have to make something up.
Yeah, if you did, it would just give people an excuse to ignore you.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Tune it out. Tune it out. Hey, I'm going to be at that hospital thing.
Are you? Well, you should.
I'm going to sing the national anthem.
Really?
They have enlisted me.
Really?
Yeah. Jose, can you see? I will be there. 10 o'clock.
You're a good singer, but that's a notoriously difficult song to sing.
It's a
live.
tough one, and the words do not roll off the tongue.
No.
No.
It was a different
But I love
time
it. I love it.
when it was written.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're here to talk about, coming up on Monday, got a big event downtown, and we'll get in just a second to who's going to be there, Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that in a second. I do want to take just a moment to call out the Live at 5 concept.
Yeah.
I have talked about this many times on the show. I've complained about it, that we fall into the rut of doing the same thing the same way with the same people over and over and over and over, and wondering why we keep getting diminishing returns. We need some fresh ideas.
Yeah.
Here's one right here.
Don't talk about noon tunes like that.
Well, I'll get an email now. But seriously, this is something new.
And it works. It works. Look, Natchez does it on the Bluff. Hattiesburg does it. Somebody asked me the other day if it was a franchise. I said, no, it just makes sense. It's Live at 5. And like, what is that? Live music at 5. Duh. Come on.
Right there in the name.
It's so good. It is community, and it's short and sweet. And that's what people love about it, because one, and they say, why a Monday? Why is she coming on a Monday? They used to do things on Fridays. You've got something to do on a Friday.
Yes.
You can find something to do. And all I ever hear is there's nothing to do. But the Main Street businesses, Monday, whether they know it or not, Wendy, look, Mondays, that's y'all's slowest day. Let me bring y'all some more money.
Yes.
Yeah. Most of them are closed. So they open up. They're falling in love with it. They like it.
Now, they're really going to love Monday, because Brandy is coming back to Macomb. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, she sneaks in here every so often. You just don't know it.
Once in a while.
Yeah. But she is coming back on Monday, and some really interesting reasons why.
Yeah, for sure. Look, so the Macomb Main Street Association, we have 219 Main Street. It's a royal blue building on the right, on Main Street, 200 block. And it is going to be the Macomb Museum of Music in 2027. Talking about American history, just zoning in more on Macomb history. Not saying that everywhere else in the world is untalented, but just Macomb. I was putting together some graphics last night with Williams Brothers, Bo Diddley, Mr. Sip, Britney Spears, Jamie Lynn Spears, Brandy, then her brother Ray J had hits. And it's just over and over. So many, and we're blessed to have that. And, Macomb, when you think of Macomb, you think of a couple things. Besides potholes, you think of this. You think of the civil rights movement. You think of the railroad. And we ought to think about music, too, because that's a big part. And very soon, we'll have 3 museums for all of it. Black History Gallery, Railroad Museum, and the Macomb Museum of Music. And she's coming to bring us some stuff.
We have needed something like that for a long time.
A collective spot.
Years and years ago, probably about 8, 9, 10 years ago, I had a thing where every week I ran down the list of people born and raised in Macomb that were on national television that week.
Yeah.
Athletes, musicians, actors, whatever. And I think the highest number I got to was like 22. And I
believe
said,
it.
Really?
I believe it. Yeah. So, we're storytellers. So whatever version of that it comes up. And speaking of stories, that's why she's coming. She's written a new book. It's already on the New York Times bestsellers. It's her memoir, and it's called Phases. And y'all, the first chapter is essentially a love letter to Macomb. I saw somebody ask the other day, what in the world has Brandy ever done for Macomb? Why are we doing this? I backspaced. So I said, I've read the book, the first part. She talked nice about Macomb. Dadgummit, that's good enough for me. She claimed us. And she's gone around the world. And to say that this is home, hometown pride is, it's lacking, but it's also a superpower. It manifests in so many different ways. One, your quality of life. Two, economic opportunity. I mean, when people get off the interstate, first thing they hit is a gas station. Somebody says, what's there to do here? And the first thing they hear is a gas station attendant say, nothing, run, leave. Okay, how do you think you're going to get that next paycheck? Don't lie to them, but think of something. Dang, go stick your toe in Percy Quinn, maybe.
Well, but that's the thing, and that's why I love Live at 5 and love things like Brandy
Focusing
talking
on that
well
good
about
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to give people good stuff that immediately comes to their mind.
That's right. That's
because,
right. Keep it in front of them.
You shouldn't have to dig and work to come up with something good to talk about.
That's right. That's right. She's got. She had 6 seasons of a television show, so we have some outfits from it. And she was in 1997. She was the first black Cinderella, which they just did a Little Mermaid with a black Ariel, and everybody acted like that was monumental. And I thought, no, 1997, our girl Brandy did it. So she has the book coming out. She's headlining at the Superdome this weekend. Works out. She's doing that Saturday, coming to us Monday. Brandy's coming, but also Mr. Sip.
Castro is
full performance.
He is incredible. If you've never had the opportunity to hear him, you're going to be missing out.
We were very last minute putting this together because logistics is everything, and we didn't know what the New Orleans performance was going to demand. We knew she wanted to do it, but so the planning has been hectic and very secretive. So
subject to change.
That's right. Now that we've been able to tell everybody, everything you need to know is on visitmacomb.org. We're going to close the streets 8 to 8. There's only going to be one entry, one exit, because safety is always the first priority. Macomb Police Department, Sheriff's Department, State Troopers, everybody's got their hands in it, and we love that. So visitmacomb.org has all those details. Mr. Sip will be there, Brandy, and it's just going to be a good day for Macomb.
You know, she's a big star, but I realize looking at this promo image of her, just how old and out of touch I am.
Yeah.
Because I know those are stylish gloves she's wearing, but it looks like she's doing the dishes.
It does.
To me.
It does. She's got those red leather gloves on.
Yeah.
She wore that, she's on tour right now. I think it's over 50 cities. I saw that in Philadelphia, and I think that the attire made sense when she was there. It's probably chilly. But then when I saw it, I was like, I don't know if it's going to translate on the 6th.
You're going to melt.
But it's a good picture. Yeah, she probably won't have them gloves
on. So this is coming up on Monday.
She got her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I saw that.
I think that's a prerequisite. You get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, you can have a key to Macomb.
We got a minute and a half. You want to give some thanks to the sponsors?
I do. Y'all, this in New Orleans, if you're going to cook, you do the celery, the onion, and what's the other thing? A bell pepper, the Holy Trinity.
Yes.
Y'all, we've got the Scenic Rivers Development Alliance, the Pike County Chamber of Commerce, and Pike County Economic Development. Wham, wham, wham. We're tickled. We appreciate it so much. Selman's, Waste Management. I'm getting some of that money back. Your bill's going up, but I'm getting it back. Dadgummit. First Bank, Pike National. Macomb Main Street Association loves y'all. We appreciate SuperTalk. We appreciate Dave. Visit macomb.org.
Head on over there and be there Monday.
Do it. 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock is when Brandy and Mr. Sip, Castro Coleman, get cranked up. It's going to be a great time.
Big doings.
For everybody. Make sure you're there and then go tell some people about it. Congratulations. You now have something good to tell people about.
Indeed.
It happens.
It does.
Like, for example, the rest of the day, I'm going to tell people, I saw Brandon Andrews today. And then we'll go from there.
Oh, they said, bless your heart.
Next time you're in here, I'll have to ask you why you got 2 phones and not 3.
Oh, I don't need another job.
Do this again tomorrow morning at 9:06 on SuperTalk, Mississippi, Pike County, my friend. I'll see you then.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.